marker just in case we have to. Cool. And we shall begin the recording. Great, excellent. And we're going to go live in 5, 4, 3.
You're listening to the Converted Podcast, the podcast about the Guild Convert to Raid on Airy Peak, US.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 161 of the Converted Podcast, the World of Warcraft podcast for the Convert to Raid Guild on Airy Peak, US. Sal, why don't you tell us what the audience has in store for them this week?
In this episode, we have raiding in Classic, your converted shoutouts, guild haps with Turarts, and we have I got 2 guests, 1, 2.
That is right. Sal, I am Barfolomew the Paladin, and we do have not 1, not 3, not 7, but 2 folks joining us this evening. First up, a CTR raider from Bacon and Kegs, Littlewing. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Glad to be here.
For double the fun, also from Bacon and Kegs, it's Big O, the Warrior. How are you this fine evening, my helmeted friend?
Just 1 second. My settings are messed up again.
Oh,
Trolls don't wear helmets. It's dingo.
Oh, man, that was fun. As always, Turarts the Hunter is here. T, what's going on?
Not much. I'm glad to be back. I had to take a break last episode, but I am here today. I missed the Tink episode. That's like the episode I look forward to all year, and I'm so sad. But I'm here today.
That's okay. Tink basically missed it too, so it's fine.
Okay.
listen, that episode was about one thing.
Tink.
Tink's car.
Tink's stolen car. And during that episode, his car was found. And then he had to leave the episode to go get his stolen car.
Oh man, okay. Good times. But yes, it's been a bit since I've been on, so I'm here now. What have I been up to? Diablo 3. Like all the Diablo 3. It has consumed my life. I'm doing the season gig and I am kicking booty at level 70 Paragon. I'm almost at the infamous 666. So it is so much fun. I am running through rifts like they're going out of style. I can pretty much torment 16 anything. I'm carrying. I've never been the carrier. I'm always the carryee. So it is nice to be the carrier. Aw, I like your shirt. It is adorable. But yeah, I'm the carrier. Like I'm the big baddie that's like, go stand by the entrance or you'll die. But then you have people like Ash who's like, oh no, I'm gonna come up and they die anyway. And I'm like, listen, don't stand in the poo. Seriously. But yes. I just have a green shirt on. Like there's nothing. I didn't get the cool shirt memo. It's fine. But all the dang it. I'm gonna have to go get a cool shirt while one of you guys do your talking. But all the Diablo 3, all the time. I'm very excited to be in it. And it's so fun. Like how I didn't know about this game like 10 years ago when it came out, I don't know. But I know about it now. So
Are you
that's where
playing
we're at.
on PC or on a console?
I'm playing on my PC. So I am playing on the PC. Santa Claus may be bringing it for the Switch for Miles.
It's
Miles.
listen, good pick for Santa. Santa knows his
Yes.
games.
So
It's super good on the Switch.
I'm that is probably definitely happening. But yes, I am super excited. I am in love with it. It's like I said, it's very fun to have. I'm usually the one that is very carried. Like I did that Valentine's raid for Dolls of Lore. I think that was the raid that came out. I was totally carried through that. Like I was not at any gear level where I should have been. I just didn't want to spend Valentine's by myself and was like, who wants to do this? And we managed to knock out 7 bosses. Like kudos to you who came along and carried my booty through that whole thing. But now I'm the carryee. I get to carry people on my back and it's great. So yay. It's fun. And I'm rocking. I'm on Rift 87 by myself. It's pretty
That's
exciting.
crazy. That's awesome.
pretty exciting. So that's been my life, has been that. And then for the first time in the history of times, I had my Christmas shopping done before December 1st. So I know this is like not a Christmas podcast, but I was just very proud of myself. So yay, Christmas shopping done. But there is still time to get us some chat room shout outs and stuff. I heard we don't have any juicy mana buns yet. So if you want to get them at Twitter, you can, but it's probably best just to get them to us here in the chat room so that I can shout them out to us later. But otherwise, I think that's my update for now. So
Sweet. Also with us, Sal Mises the Shaman. You heard from her earlier when she described what the show was going to be like. Sal, what have you been doing the last few weeks?
Well, Barf, thank you for asking. First of all, you want to check out my new T-shirt. It's the first time I've gotten to wear it. I got it for free at BlizzCon.
It reads May with Hong Kong, and it appears to be May holding a flag with a Hong Kong symbol on it.
With a Hong Kong flag on it. A protester gave this to me and gave it to many people at the BlizzCon.
The rumor I heard was that those protesters were very polite and happy to engage in productive conversation with the folks who were wandering on their way by.
Yes, that was the case.
Cool.
That was absolutely the case. They were very nice, and I did talk to them because they gave us like little like signs that one could hold up, you know, and it's got like May on it and stuff, and on the back had some useful, interesting, you know, like information on it. And I was talking to a guy, and later on I found out that one or two Blizzard employees kind of higher up on the chain over there at Blizzard had dropped off a bunch of water and donuts and stuff for him. So everything was copacetic in that situation. Sweet. And we even had, you know, Jalen Brett encourage people to go talk to people, you know, right before the big show. So that was cool. Yes. So I do have my new protest T-shirt on, but also last night I am exalted with the Mechanomes.
Woot!
So someone in chat, I wish I remembered who it was, in guild chat was like, yeah, you got your Pilgrim's Bounty buff, you got your Dark Moon Fair buff, you got your WoW Anniversary buff, so you got 35%. You got a 35% buff for reputation. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I went and just like kicked Mechanome's butt in Mechagon, whatever. And I just went and got exalted real quick.
Nice. 35%
buff on that. Now, I think today is the last day of the Turkey Day.
Ah! Dang.
So anyone who's listening to this, you know, too bad. But yeah, so the Dank Dirk in the chat room's like, wait till the carousel comes. That's what I'm talking about. Carousel's out right now. So, and if you, I don't know if heirlooms would work. I'm pretty sure
the experience stops at whatever the level is that the heirloom stops working, but I don't think the heirlooms actually give you rep, do they? That's really more of a leveling thing.
It's a leveling thing, so it's excellent for leveling, absolutely. But just for like the rep, last night I had 35% buff on rep. So I was, there we go. So I grinded that out, and then I was like, oh wait a minute, why? I can't remember why. Why did I want exalted?
So that you had the option of choosing a different race other than Mechanome when it came time to roll your next character.
My next character is going to be a Mechanome Death Knight.
Ooh.
Actually, that's kind of baller. I'm not going to lie to you. That's kind of cool.
So that's going to do it. And then the B thing, I'm just never getting this mount. I feel like I spent an hour a day on this, and no amount of, I mean, you can get your XP, you can do whatever buff you want for the reputation. It doesn't matter because you still got to feed the dang bee. An X number of, there's no buff on the number of jellies to feed this bee before you get it.
Yep. Just got to cover yourself in
So-
jelly and just run in there, or whatever it is you do with the bees. I don't know. I haven't started.
Oh, well, I am exalted with the bee reputation, but it's useless. It's just useless. I have to feed a bee until it's full. So I'm feeding bees. And that's what I'm doing.
Remember,
what I'm
1 spoonful of royal jelly will make you sleepy. 2 will put you to sleep. 3 will put you into a coma that you'll never wake up from.
That's milk of the poppy.
No, it's royal jelly.
Mm,
I learned that from a scientific cartoon I watched once.
yeah, or Game of Thrones. I agree to disagree.
Sure.
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 Okay, fine.
I'll allow it.
Whatever.
It resolves.
Uh-huh. Sure, okay.
Well, Barf, how have you been?
I've been great. I've also been on that rep grind, and I missed out on all the turkey buffs. I missed out on all of them. I didn't even realize there was reputation associated with that. I thought it was a holiday where you just leveled up your cooking skill and then wandered off to the next town to continue to level up your cooking skill. I forgot all about the reputation part. I would have been happy to know that a week ago. I would have been really excited to know that a week ago.
Yeah, you sit at a table and you eat until you got 5 buffs of the turkey and 5 buffs of the yams and 5 buffs of the cranberry. Yeah, and then once you got five stacks of all the buffs, it gives you a 1 hour XP or whatever experience, rep buff.
Yeah. You know what I would have spent that time on with my extra reputation? The project in World of Warcraft that I have been working on, which is very similar to the one that you have been working on, where you're trying to level up all your reps so you can get them their allied races. 2 weeks ago, we talked about how I dinged 120 on my new Goblin Shaman.
Trader.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get my reputations done, and it'll be all great, right? In the meantime, I have successfully reached Exalted with the Honor Bound. And then I went into some alternate reality, and I unlocked the Maghar Orcs, ran into my girl Yrel. She was riding a big elephant. There was a minor war going on, fate of the planet type things. Saved all of my Orcish friends, put them in Ogrimmar. They seemed fine about it. So now I can make one of those. I'm about halfway between the beginning of Revered and the beginning of Exalted with the Zandalari trolls. And then once that's completed, I will have all of the allied races unlocked until 8.3 comes out, in which they introduced 2 more allied races that I need to fight my way towards. I think I have like 2 days or so worth of daily quests left in Mechagon before I have my Mechanomes unlocked, and at that point, all I have left is the Vol'dun rep, so I can get the Foxmen. What are they called?
Volpera.
The Volpera. I've been calling them the Foxy Foxes because I can't remember. The Volpera. I'm going to unlock those as well. I'm at the beginning of Revered with them, so it's going to be a little bit. But, man, I've been grabbing the Big Bad Juju in chat says, where dingoes? Yeah, it's pretty close.
I like that one. That's better.
Where dingoes.
Dude, the chat room, though, is crazy tonight.
Yeah, chat
It's
room's
amazing.
jumping today. If you're listening to the audio show, thank you for being here. But really, come on, you should have shown up for the live show. Hang out with the chat, all the cool people there. I'm going to get these allied races, and not because I'm going to roll them. Although I may make a. I've already forgotten. What are they called? Volpera.
Volpera?
I'm going to make a Volpera. I'm probably going to make a
Dingo.
Zandalari. I have really no intention whatsoever of ever rolling a Maghar or a Mechanome. They're not my races, but I can't have, like, you can make some, but not these ones. That's not acceptable to me in my time in the World of Warcraft. I insist on having all the races. I also have a bone to pick with the people who were maybe a little worried that it was going to take kind of a long time to unlock this stuff. I'm like 2 weeks into the grind, and I've got maybe 1 week left to go on these. It doesn't seem like it's all that much, honestly, especially compared to, if you've been farming Molten Core for the bindings or for, any of the other Invincible for like 6 years. Like, it just doesn't seem like that much. Seems like kind of an easy grind, honestly. It's just the sort of thing you got to sit down and do every day. But whatever, it's all good. I'm going to get it. I'm going to have all the options, and then I'm going to have my ability to ignore some of those options when it comes time to roll a new character. The other thing I did Sal, I'm slowly becoming you. I'm taking my slow steps that I need to take in order to
playing
simply
Path-
just be
Path of
Salmice's
Exile?
shaman.
Oh. Oh, okay.
So I've been mostly playing my Pandaren Enhancement Shaman, Shanpu, since the
Yes.
beginning of the expansion.
Noticed. Uh-huh.
Mostly. Character doesn't exist anymore?
Did you transfer it?
No, she has been kind
Laid
of
to
race
rest?
changed a little bit, tiny bit.
Oh,
I got tired of the Pandaren aspect of that, and I am now a beautiful, beefy and muscular, shirtless Draenei Enhancement Shaman
Wow.
Enhancement
You are
Shaman.
like me.
with the big muscle chest and the no shirt on. That's not something that you do, but it was my choice. Mostly because
No,
I got
yeah.
there was a toy that transforms you. The Coin of Many Faces. Are we familiar with this toy? It turns you into things. It turns you into a random appearance. One day I happened to get a topless Draenei while I was on and I was like, man, I don't know, man. Just like running around in just like waist down, like a dress and just axes, and that's all I've got with me today. Seems like a really cool look. I'd kind of like to do that someday, but it's impossible because you can't roll a character with no chest transmog. Then they changed the rules, so now I'm doing that.
What was the name of the character when you're getting a Lightforged Draenei and all he said was his own name?
Tapartos, yes.
Tapartos!
Yes,
Tapartos!
it's a mildly Tapartos kind of look. The only downside to all of this is I really would have preferred to roll a Lightforged, but you can't be a Lightforged Draenei. They don't exist. They're not a real thing. And that's a bummer, because they're a cooler race. They have tattoos.
I
What?
love it.
That's what I've been up to.
Oh, and being shaman? You can't be a shaman and be a Lightforged?
Yeah, you can't do it.
Okay.
Can't do it. I'm curious to know about the transmog and race change and shirtless options that are two excellent guests who are here today to discuss all of the classic WoW things, which I'm pretty sure they had transmog back in classic WoW, right? Or at least they may not have had the shirtless option, but they definitely, like, you could transmog your weapons and stuff, right?
No. I wish. I look like a clown.
I run around shirtless, but my healer keeps yelling at me.
This is true.
So for the game, not for the faint of heart. Not only are these two longtime CTR members playing Classic, they're raiding in Classic, and I'm excited to hear about it. What?
Oh, no, keep going. You're good. Hey, first of all, let's everyone get to know you guys a little bit better. Big O, who are you? Where you're from? Does pineapple belong on pizza? And what are you rating in Classic?
Well, I'll take those in the order of importance. Pineapple does belong on pizza.
Yes.
We're lifting the moratorium on that conversation, are we?
Second, I've been rating with what is now Bacon and Kegs since just about the beginning of Warlords of Draenor. I've been leading them as their raid leaders since about midway through that expansion. I am taking a hiatus now from them also, and a couple other teams I raided with Hump Day Heroes and Edamame Enterprise. But Classic is a big deal. It takes a lot of time, and
Yes.
we're trying to make a real good big go of this. So I've kind of taken a break from there. I live in northern Indiana, the state most of you just fly over. I actually work all day long pushing a button, talking to people, helping them with their problems. I'm a school bus dispatcher for about 300 buses every day. And then I come home and help about, 30 to 40 people get through their fantasy problems.
What town in northern Indiana?
I'm from Fort Wayne.
Fort Wayne. Have we had this conversation before? I feel we have. I was born in Cedar Lake.
I believe so. And I know where Cedar Lake is, but yeah, Fort Wayne's northeast. I actually don't remember where Cedar Lake is now.
It's a very small town. My dad grew up there, and I have family in Crown Point up there. I just tell
still
people
hold close.
Chicago.
I still hold close to my heart and tell people I'm still from Chicago. I've lived in Fort Wayne, Indiana since I was 5, but I was born in Hinsdale, suburb of Chicago.
Hmm.
Still orange and navy true. Chicago Cubs, North Side go. I'm a Chicago kid through and
Yeah,
I
yeah, so is Turarts. Please go
I
ahead.
am.
I'm sorry, honey.
No, I say I love it. My little kid's actually in a Chicago Bears like pajamas right now. But before we get into big things, we have another guest here tonight. Littlewing, we got to get to know you. So, where you're from, who are you, what are you reading classic, and pickles and peanut butter. Is it amazing or is it orgasmic?
Is there a third option of scary for,
No.
for pickles and peanut butter? Also, it sounds
Individually,
like
they sound
pregnancy
great.
food. I'm Littlewing. I'm from North Carolina. I've been with CTR since it came over from when Pat and them put together from iTunes or from over in AIE. I've raided with Bacon and Kegs, Threat Level Midnight, and Facebull. Facebull being the most recent one. I was a Holy Paladin for most of this expansion for live. Currently, I am playing too many characters in Classic. I think I have 2 60s already, and I'm almost on my third. I was the first 60, I think, of all the CTR people in Classic. I think. Not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. And
and the 6th.
and the 6th.
That's
and the
crazy.
6th, yeah. I get the question, are you going to beat me to 60 for the third time? A lot. For work, I actually work for a very large technology company, so I sort of kind of do the same thing. I listen to people's problems every day and try to fix them, and then I play video games and try to fix other things. So apparently, I'm a glutton for punishment. But yeah, that's basically me
It's
in
a
a nutshell.
different raid team.
Yeah, that is a different raid team. Yes.
All right. I love it. So exciting. We're going to talk about all things classic.
Well, so when I got your email, Littlewing, I thought you were totally trolling me. You're like, "Hey, do you want to talk about like classic rating?" I'm like, "Do you?" That's funny. That's funny. What
such a
is this?
thing?
So you're really doing this? You're really gonna go
Really,
raid?
really doing it.
Really,
Molten
really.
Core? I mean,
Yeah.
that just sounds like a lot. I mean, God, you
Yeah,
know?
it's a hard memory for a lot of people because I think like if you didn't play in vanilla, the only real idea of what 40-man rating is like is that time they brought Molten Core back for everybody last expansion, I think, which they put in LFR and it was
Sure.
just a train wreck.
That was a wonderful
Gotta cool
experience
them
for
out.
me because I got to go in there with my Mega Guild who was able to fill a 40-man at the drop of a hat. It was a fun time.
Yeah.
Right?
I didn't get that experience. I decided to pug in. That was a bad choice. It was a very bad choice.
No, that was 5 years ago, and CTR was like peaking.
Yeah.
5 years ago, it was
We were
really
jumping
easy to
back
get
then,
it.
man.
Yeah.
But it's actually really not. It's a fun process to get going, especially considering the way that rating is now, coming from 15 years, removed from vanilla itself. I think it's a lot easier. And me and O have been working on building the raid team for, gosh, it's been like 2 months now that we started putting together.
Yeah, since we started pushing the initiative. We've done a lot through what was the United Federation of Guilds. It's where we started, was the program Pat put together.
Mhm.
With it being so, it was cross everything. We had one on Alliance, one on Horde for both PvE and PvP, which was great to get us all that experience. We were kind of having trouble organizing through it though. So Penny came up with the idea that we might need to talk it out and figure out how we can move into another area. So we created like a team Discord, just like all of us are used to in CTR. So we talked to Koma, who is the current guild master of United Orgrimmar. Koma's famed from iTunes, and he's the current guild master. And we talked to him, get it all set up, and we slowly started pulling people in. Did not matter their level. We've gone back quite often and helped people level up, go through dungeons, and getting people caught up. We're looking for the long game, not really the short game. There's lots of people that have already cleared Molten Core. Lots of people. They're clearing it in one evening now. Classic's a completely different animal than it was when we did it for vanilla. Everybody knows everything. You know exactly what to get. You know exactly what potions to use. You know exactly what buffs to go get, and to do all this beforehand. So it's a totally different experience, and it doesn't feel like I'm playing the same game I did 15 years ago.
No.
It really feels coming at it in a different way. It's a really thick, story-driven. The RPG levels there, the crafting's there. I had a buddy today ask me, "Hey, do you have one of these diamonds? I really need this to finish my shaman quest." That doesn't happen anymore. In the sense, everybody's got a fleet of alts to collect everything for them. So there's just a different game that we're playing in Classic that it really goes back to what a lot of these communities were first started because of. Because you needed community to play the game. You needed friends. You needed somebody that did other things, and you couldn't take on these adventures alone. You had to find friends. I mean, there's just stuff out in the world. You can't walk up to this thing and fight it, or you will die unless you make some friends to fight it with you. And that's not a dungeon. That's not a mythic dungeon. It's not a heroic dungeon.
No, it's a
That's
yellow
just something
quest.
out in the world.
Yeah.
It's just a bear that you accidentally went through the zone and found out that it's over here.
The old adage from Alliance, Hogger being a raid boss. This is this is the time when that was really true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really true about the classic raiding for us, is that it's the community atmosphere is so much more prevalent now. Like, everybody has to lean on each other really to get things done and to get dungeons done. Otherwise, you're just really floating by yourself alone at 60. And he's absolutely right. I mean, I was in the first Molten Core clear for Peggle, and that was the second week Classic was out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That wasn't with our team. He joined another group that was already there. But
plugged it
that's
out.
how quickly people
Yeah.
were doing this now, and how strong you can do it.
And that was in, like, I mean, a lot of people probably have a memory of doing Molten Core and it taking like 8 hours to grind through all these bosses and stuff. That was about 3.5 hours.
It makes sense though, right? Like, it's the only logical consequence of the entire player base being wildly more educated about what this game is and how the mechanics work and how that all this. But we've been trained to be more skilled than we were way back in the day. Like, what are the mechanics of these fights? Like, they've got like 3, 4, 5 mechanics. Meanwhile, you know, people were downing Jaina, who has 87 mechanics, and if you're not paying attention to every single one of them, she'll feed you your, you know, it's different. It's just different. Like, we're trained to have our eyes open for all these things, and then is there like a missing piece? Like, I'm seeing player education being a big deal. Like, people just know the mechanics. People are just skilled these days. They know what to avoid. They understand, like, you can't stand in the swirly things in the fire and whatnot. What's the big thing that's stopping the people from advancing through these bosses maybe at the same rate that you guys have just sort of been crushing it? Like, is there any other third piece of the puzzle that I'm just not seeing?
Well, just to clarify real quick, and then I'll speak on it. We're not into Molten Core. We have our first Molten Core planned.
Oh, okay.
And we're still short players to do it.
Yeah.
So December 15th on Sunday, we've got our first Molten Core planned, and we're sitting at about 25 at level to do it. And we'll have to fill out the rest, either catch people up or fill out the rest. But that's really the last stepping stone. The hardest thing in Classic is finding 40 people that can do the same thing you're doing at the exact same time. Because we've already had the issue of people that we've pulled in. I spoke about the Federation. We've tried to make really, really strong strides to still reach out to AIE and to reach out to Warcast and some of the other groups that were originally part of the Federation. And we have several of those people who have come over and are still part of our Discord. And They stay part of their guild, but they're still playing with us to work toward this goal of Molten Core, because it really comes down to you needing people. That's the last real puzzle piece, and really it's the hardest puzzle piece.
Yeah.
Everything else, like you said, we've got the skill, more skill than we ever had back then.
Sure.
And we also have the ability, because we know exactly what gear to go get before we go there. I mean, the very first guild that did it, like the new world first for Classic, most of them weren't even 60, and 60% of them were still in greens.
Yeah.
When they beat Molten Core.
Wow, really?
They had
Yeah.
15 55s.
Also a group that's all they've been doing for almost 15 years.
Yeah.
They came from one of the other servers, so they've literally just done it over and over
Yeah.
and over again. They knew exactly what
Yeah.
to do. But so we're really coming close to that point to get to that, but that's the last step you're looking for, is someone to figure out how to organize a group together and pick a time that works for as many as possible. We've already lost a couple members due to time constraint, because they know which day we're kind of leaning toward, and they can't raid that day, so they found another team. So it's really, can you get 40 people at the same time at the same place with the same goal? And that's what Classic was then. It's what it is still now. The hardest puzzle piece to put together is people.
Yeah.
Well, so to that point, I haven't been in Classic recently. What's it like in town? Like when you walk into Stormwind or Ogremar, is it like bustling? Are there like just players tripping over each other?
Penny,
left, right,
Penny,
up and
what
down?
was it like when they removed that last layer?
Yeah.
There's no more layers in Classic at all anymore.
Yeah,
So they were layering it.
It is that authentic Classic thing. So like you go up to the auction house and there's like 70, 80 people just chilling there. You know, people dancing on top of mailboxes and all that jazz.
Running around on top of the bank.
On top of the bank in Ogremar, yeah, that's a constant thing when you go into Ogremar, especially during like Tuesday when raids get cranked up, or Kargath, for instance, for the Horde is a common place to put your binding points. So you'll come out there and there'll be 15 to 40 people just chilling there, waiting to go to Blackrock to either go do MC or Upper Blackrock and that kind of thing. So that you really do, there is this sense of there's a lot of people here. And as somebody that is constantly leveling characters and going through the leveling progression a lot, I never have come into a situation where I've gotten to an area to level that I don't have competition from somebody else. Especially now with the layers gone. It's especially now.
They've stretched the servers to such a large number now. I mean, our old servers maxed out were probably 3,000 people when we played during vanilla. 3,000 people maxed on a server. Like that was the max quantity of people. There's rumors they're pushing some of them to 40, 50K right now.
Yeah.
Like some of the servers are really that large, and there's many people playing. So the craziest thing is they turned on the world PvP. The ranking system.
That's what I was about to ask you about, because people.
So you want to feel like people are playing this game. Log in. You're right by the mailbox in Orgrimmar. That's where you logged out. Everything's dead around you.
Yeah.
There is hundreds of people with yellow names above their head, and I don't mean just small amounts. We're not on a PvP server.
Yeah.
This is happening on a PvE server.
This is a PvE server. Yeah.
And there was hundreds and hundreds. The first day you couldn't move around in Orgrimmar. There was so many people, it was causing lag. And there's just hundreds of yellow names. And that means Alliance PvP flagged. And you're just trying to get to the auction house.
Yeah. That first day, the very first thing I wanted to do was go to the South Shore. Because I remember back in the day in vanilla when I went to South Shore and there was 400 plus people there and it crashed servers. Like, I remember that it's just burned into my head, and I got there and there was 400 people. Obviously the server tech's better now. And there was 400 people, Horde, and then they're just all sitting there just smashing against each other like big waves. And it's just this crazy thing to watch, because this is exactly what happened 15 years ago when World PvP came out. And it's still, like he said, every day it's consistent. You log in every single day. Like today, I logged on, was in Ogremar, started to fly out, and right at the entrance for Ogremar, there's Alliance there just picking off people who want to come out and try. Like, it's really, really interesting to see that kind of experience happening again.
I think they almost celebrate more killing our flight masters than they do killing Thrall.
Yeah.
Because we're on a
If they could
PvE
take the
server, you would
tower.
expect to be able to go do things, but flight masters are not unhonorable kills. They're an honorable kill,
Yeah.
so they can kill them without losing any rep to their PvP system. And you go to look for the flight master, it's your only way out of there to go do something else. He's gone.
You don't have one.
Yeah. It's a
Wow.
great way to troll and get honor at the same time.
It's been a good
I didn't
experience both
expect
ways.
that
Our
on a PvE
servers,
server.
well, and our server is heavily Alliance.
85%.
Heavily, like probably 85% the server's Alliance.
Yeah, last time I saw it.
I don't know how much it's going on the other direction, but we're not really participating. There are lots of hordes still participating, but it's more in the defense because you can still get honor kills just defending your city.
Sure.
But it's pretty crazy. There's a lot of people doing PvP already, and there's not even battlegrounds in the game.
But Comatica in the chat room said, Orgrimmar, the Alliance capital city since World PvP Patch Day.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So it's the first time I saw a paladin, like a group of paladins just kind of chilling in front of the bank, like, "Hi guys, how you doing? Can I get blessing and protection?" Like, it's bizarre stuff, especially with their banana uniforms on. But
Oh yeah,
any
like you
paladin
spoke
knows what
about
I'm talking
Hey
about.
transmog
man, we
earlier.
wore what we could. All right, no
every
judgments
paladin.
here.
No judgment.
That's
I'm wearing
coming.
it as a warrior. It's okay.
Yeah, that warrior right there is wearing banana shoulders, right?
I'm wearing those, yes, and mostly leather. But
Well, yeah,
that's
they make your
'cause-
healing better. I'd be wearing them too if I were you.
works on my bandages all day. Yeah, it's a lot of fun with the amount of people that are there, and I think a lot of people were. I think one of the consistent things that people I've talked to about Classic are like, well, where's the drop off? Where is the amount of people going to drop off from this content? Oh, the nostalgia's over. 75% of your player base is going to go up in smoke, which that's really not happened. I think like when you see like the Blizzard earnings calls and stuff like that, they've talked about how Classic's affected, their subscription numbers. There's a lot of people playing Classic right now, so I think that in itself makes this experience as close to the vanilla experience as you can get.
A lot of our successes have come from the structure we've tried to put in place. Penny's done a lot of work on making our Discord function in really awesome ways. We run events pretty constantly to either help endgame crew get that gear we're trying to get before we go into Molten Core, so we can be super strong and just plow through it when we get there. Or the last few weeks we've been doing, we call it the Level Up Club. Like I said, we're doing this as a long-term goal. So we welcome I see new names every day, and new names in our guild every single day. And we take the time to, if you're showing the commitment and the team goal is your plan, you want to be in Molten Core someday with us, we're taking time out of our week to still, I'll go run people through RFC, Ragefire Chasm. I'll go run them through any dungeon they need to get their quests done, pop them through real quick. We're still encouraging this long-term goal to make it more, as a lot of our CTR teams are, and CTR is itself. Want to make this really family oriented friend support group, because people stay around then, and that's our goal.
And it's really, I think, like he touched on the Discord thing, this is a difference between 15 years ago when all of us were on TeamSpeak and Ventrilo and now with Discord and the plethora of tools we have now to organize things. Like currently for like raid signups and group signups, we've got a bot in Discord, and all you have to do is click on your icon for your class, and you're signed up for that instance, and we know you're coming, and know what class you're bringing and what spec you're bringing. So we got that ahead of time, which these tools just didn't exist back then. I mean, not to mention things like big wigs or any of the big add-ons you use, TSM or whatnot, makes the entire experience something fresh and new, but still very nostalgic and fun, and makes the leveling process a lot funner for a lot of people, I think.
Well, so the leveling process then. Let's say I'm a fresh young paladin, or paladin's a bad example. You guys have heard. I'm a fresh young shaman, and
I kill you. Yes.
I'm ready to win fury my way to the ultimate level of 60. Like, what's my
Yeah.
grind look like, man? Like, how long am I playing the game before I'm ready to go? Do you guys have?
Depends-
I mean, obviously,
depends how you
apparently
wanna
for some
do
of
it.
us, Littlewing, it takes a little less time than others. But generally speaking,
Yeah.
like, what's the expectation here? In
Well, I talked to somebody else who's in a group just yesterday. His name is Alpha. He's in the upper 30s now, and we were talking about leveling and how he wants to level because I don't want to push anybody to rush because this
Don't
is
be me.
classic.
Yes, don't be me.
Classic is don't be him. He got so kind of burned out off his mage. He's barely played his mage even at all anymore. So
Yeah.
it's not about getting to the end point right now. It's about the journey. The game is about the journey. It is a lot of fun. It's very hard, as all of us remember, but it is very rewarding. You feel a sense of accomplishment when you
Yeah.
defeat a difficult task, and everything is a difficult task.
Mm.
Even crafting some items, you got to go get things from different places, and you feel accomplished once you finished it. Though it doesn't feel like you're doing just daily chores or anything. So as I was saying, I was talking to Alpha the other day, and what I was asking him is how he wanted to level. Because some people, hashtag no changes, want to play classic in a very special way. And I support that because that's what you want to go back and do. Everybody knows from what I was talking about with other people that were real hype before it came, I wanted to go back to classic and rule classic. I want to take I think I'm up to 50 add-ons now? I want to
can't
take
even keep track.
every tool possible. How many macros am I up to? Like 25 warrior dance macros?
And I use
I
0.
want everything possible. I do not want to play the game I played before. I played that game. That was a different game that I played before. I wanted to go in this and take every tool we have in our toolbox and play classic at a different level.
Yeah.
So that's what the discussion I had with him. How do you want to play? Because there's lots of tools out there, and there's free tools that can tell you step by step what quest to do, where to go do it, a directional arrow that tells you where it's at. So what level do you want to play it at? Do you want to play hide and seek with your quests and adventure that way? Or do you want something that tells you exactly where to go and what to do? Or do you want me to power level you? Because I spent one night, I thought the first night I set up this the power up or the club level up.
Yeah.
The first night I decided to do that. I told Penny the next day I was up probably another 3 hours thinking, okay, how can I do this efficiently to help as many of our members as possible? The answer I kept coming to in forums was level more mages. Because your mage can just go in there and ice and slow things and drag it all through a dungeon, and you take 160, 4 people at level for the dungeon, and you get it done real quick and real easy. So it's really your choice. How do you want to level? You can level really quick. Penny can tell you how to get there in probably 7 days or less.
4.5 if you really want to get there.
well, so wait a minute. So power leveling is definitely not the same as it is in Diablo, where kind of the points don't matter.
Yeah.
Didn't they make it so that? And I don't know when this happened, so this may be after, like, the game as it's set today. But wasn't this a thing where, if you've got a 60 and 4 other like level 20s or whatever?
So how it actually works?
The
How it
experience
actually
is, like,
works is
weird?
you take the. It is still kind of, because the way it works is we'll use the example of going into somewhere like you have 420s and you take them through Ragefire one more time. So you have 160 and 420s. Well, it's going to take the average of the levels. So that 60 gets dragged down to a point where they're still getting enough experience. And then it's about the experience per hour, not the experience per kill. Because if you can kill things fast enough, I can still level you faster. Now, it's not fun. It is actually quite boring. That's why I told you it's a choice. Because those 4 people going with me are watching me just spin to win through their dungeon. I mean, they're not getting to hit anything. I'm literally just plowing
Or
through
trying
it
to
for
keep
them.
you alive when you pull way too much.
But the healers love you.
Yes.
So that's the closest thing we can get to power leveling. It is a little bit of a decrease, but if you can get to about 3,500 XP an hour, you're making more than you would if you were questing or just out there killing mobs by yourself. So I can take 4 people in there, and if I can get them up to about 3,500 XP an hour, I'm pushing them faster than they would themselves.
Yeah.
But again, I always ask them while they're doing it, you do not have to do this. If you want to play the game a different way, we'll support you in that way too. But if you want rush through to finish your quests or to get a couple levels real quick so you can move on to another questing zone, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, I think that the difference between the live experience of leveling and the difference and what's going on in Classic is player agency. I think that's really the major difference, is that players in Classic have a choice about how they want to play,
Mhm.
how quickly they want to level, and how they want to go about it, versus in live where you have a linear progression that you have to choose, and there's really not a lot of choice involved. And for those people who want to do the power leveling, you can go with the dungeons that can work and work fine and can be fun for you, especially if you're in a group with friends. That's always makes everything better. Or you can go the solo route, and that bad memory that everybody has from 15 years ago where it took you 2 months to get to 60 of playing every single day for 6 hours a day, grinding it out. It's actually like for a normal person 10 hours of playtime. That's probably it. That's all you need to get to 60.
You know, when
or 10
you
days.
mentioned
I say hours.
when you mentioned the answer to leveling quicker is to level a mage. When you said that word, suddenly in the chat room it appeared the big daddy stinky pants mage himself, one Mr. Coltrane.
Yeah, if you can teach me the secret words to summon Coltrane in the Classic, I will speak them over and over.
Be like Beetlejuice. Coltrane.
Mage.
Yeah, start playing, 70s boom, music in the background.
Speaking of Coltrane, we could
Talking about
use
robes.
a lot more Mage Power. A lot more Mage Power. Lots of room for more Mage Power. For some reason, our group of people didn't decide to play mages, and we got lots of mage spots.
I have a mage. I make brown water. Don't judge.
Speaking of Mage Power, there was a time back in the very early days of this podcast where one Mr. Belschnickel and I would always try to do a bit, like a song or something, and or like a little, I'd make these little cartoon things. And I remember Bell, he did this like rap thing, and he got like a beat somewhere online. He's like, Mage Power, what you gonna do? What you gonna do to Mage Power? It was bad. It was like 3 minutes long.
Like, was it,
3
when you
minutes
say it was
long.
bad, was it better than or worse than what you just did?
I mean, what I just did was a pretty good rendition, because he wasn't.
Coltrane said it was glory.
It sounded like he was whispering in his microphone. Like maybe his kid was a baby back then, so maybe was trying not to wake him up. So it was like, Mage Power, like talking like that. And this is before
Mage Power.
This is before all of his improv classes. This is before. I mean, nowadays, if he were to do that, it would be like, whoa, But I don't know if he was shy or something. Anyway, but like a thing like that, like something's kind of funny, it should be like 30 seconds, 45 seconds. This was 3 or 4 minutes long of this just Mage Power, and don't stand in the poo. And he put like pictures in it with babies with poop on them and stuff. And it was, I just remember going,
I feel like somebody needs to dig this up now.
Yeah,
this is
really
prime.
This needs reposted.
I'm like, Belle, this is great, but maybe we could cut it down a little bit.
Bring the tone down.
Can't trim down the Mage Power.
By the way, I've been talking to Belschnickel every day the past few weeks.
Aww.
Yo, what's he up to?
We and me and maybe do a little bit of raid team coming up. There's a little raid team gonna dip our. Maybe some people, maybe a few people that you know have purchased BFA and are leveling up a little bit.
Well, shucks.
Yes. Yeah. He and I convinced several people to buy BFA, resub, and
Damn.
and now we're trying
And come
to
to
get everybody
Classic,
up.
right? Yeah. No.
No.
When you say you convinced them, you mean the Shadowlands trailer convinced them, right? That's what you
Yeah,
mean?
it was right after BlizzCon.
Okay.
Everyone's like, "Yeah, let's do it, man.
Okay.
Let's do it." So we got Tank involved. We got, yeah. Megacode said no.
Well, Tink was talking about that last show, though, right?
Yeah, that's what Tank was talking about. So we got some OG folks.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been, like Colt says, it should have been longer. Yeah, this would not. It won't be hard to find, guys. I think we played it on the Coltrane show, okay, which is our highest watched show, except for our first one, because our first show was watched several thousand times, but only the first like minute or 2 minutes of it, because my niece, who was very young back then, was in the first few minutes. And we did the Harlem Shake, so she kept watching it over and over and over to see herself dance. But
I love it.
other than that one, those are the two videos with the most views. Not hard to find. Anyway, I just got excited about Bell Schnickel.
I forget where we were.
Yeah, we were talking about. Go ahead, Turarts.
You guys can keep going. I was going to ask about their raid team a little bit more. How many members did you say you had on it as of right now?
The list is showing 36 right now. They're not all to end game yet. We're still helping some level up. We probably got about 25 at. You're gonna ask me to tell you are.
I am. You need to
reasonable,
hide your
aren't you?
list. Like you need to hide
It's gone.
that. Hide it.
I haven't looked at it all day too. This is gonna be
You
very
said
difficult though, because I've never had
36?
all of them in the same place yet. Oh, I
Okay.
can't give you 36.
Give me as many as you can. Let's go.
Oh my gosh.
Start with your tanks.
All right, that is me, Big O Warwaka, and my brilliant co-tank Bovine.
Okay. Healers.
We also have 2 more listed as tanks because 40 mans are real. So we have Gamino, he's a druid tank, and I'm gonna say his name wrong. Sarterium.
Okay.
It's close.
Close enough. Sorry about that. And okay, so that's 4 tanks. Okay, I'll give you some healers. Can we do healers?
Yes.
Give you healers. All right. So we have Chicken, healing shaman. We have Aratok. He's from AIE. I probably said that name wrong too because that is my skill, is saying names wrong. We have Zarky on Osirane. And then we have Brox. And we have Zunal. And we have, there's more. Big Bad Juju. We have Willem. That might be all the healers that are listed right now.
All right, we're up to 12. Let's move on to melee DPS.
Okay, melee. Okay. Well, how many do I count you for? Do I count all of them? They're all on the list, so I guess I'll count all of them.
3 people, yes.
So 3
Let's see if I can say it right.
3
Montana?
Montaña.
That's close enough.
It's Spanish for mountain.
And that's a DPS warrior. We have Sam Beef, DPS warrior. Ulrich's a DPS warrior. There's another warrior. There's like 2 new ones that just came this week.
There's always warriors.
Not Nani. We're just gonna go with Nani because again, Nani Bay. That's it.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the other 2 warriors. Okay, give you some rogues. We got Will of the Dead. We have Switch. We have Cromwell. I said his name wrong too.
Close.
He's from Warcast. We have, there's one more. Attribute. Those are the 4 rogues.
Up to 20.
Enhancement Shaman is Mitsu and Kanzer and Ellie Shaman. That's the melee.
Okay.
It's all the melee that are in Classic, right?
'Kay.
Rogues, Warriors, and Shaman.
What about Druid?
Oh no, we have a Feral Druid. Alpha's a Feral Druid. And who else is
Paladins?
on the list? No Paladins.
We kill paladins.
Okay.
No Paladins.
Oh
Against
yeah,
the
you guys
rules
are
in
Horde.
Classic.
That's right. I forgot.
And we have so we're going to range. There's way too many hunters. I'm gonna miss one of you guys.
Best class ever.
We'll start with the Ellie Shamans first, though. We have Kaladin. We call him Kronos because there's 2 Kaladins. And then we have who's the other Ellie Shaman? Nope. Warlocks. We have Jester. We have Kaladin, and we have Madville.
Hmm.
And then hunters. We have
Give me-
Koma, our fearless GM. We have Kang. We have Crux. We have.
You're up to 30.
There's too many hunters.
Do you want to move to mages?
Okay, Frasley, you can clip that one too. The too many hunters. We need
There's
that.
Too many. It's in my
There's
notes actually. When we ask for other people to
never
join the team, you cannot be a
Enough
hunter.
Never
No,
enough hunter.
every list tells me I have too many hunters. I put it into a spreadsheet. It's just too many hunters.
Some
But
hunters.
no, I love them all, but I can't remember all their names.
Mages?
Okay, where was I? Mages. We have Johnny and Little.
Okay.
That's it. Oh no, we have Johnny, Little, and Pyro.
Pyro.
Pyro
Yeah,
is also
Pyro.
from AIE.
Yeah.
Think you
Little's
made it-
mage is just gonna sit outside the raid and make water, and then he's gonna go in on his warrior probably, or his druid, or his shaman.
I'm just a vending machine.
He'll be there.
All I am.
So that's mages. What else did I got left? Just other hunters, right?
Yeah. Other hunters.
Soup.
Soup.
Soup's a hunter. What am I up to? Am I
Like,
missing anybody else?
yeah, like 34, 35 now? I think you're close. Very close.
You said it was hard to put together a 40-man.
Now
actually
that I
impressed.
think about it, a lot of those are really close too. We're pretty close.
You
Yeah.
are.
I
We
can't
play,
think
we
of
play with a
anybody
lot
else.
of them. Play with a lot of them regularly.
You named almost all of them. I'm impressed. Good job.
I'm forgetting somebody, and I'm gonna feel
It's
bad
okay.
about it later because that's me.
Whoever he's
I'm
forgetting
sorry,
gets
whoever I
extra mage
forgot.
water.
To all
But-
of the raiders that he forgot to mention, step up your
Tweet
DPS
us.
and you'll be more memorable. I don't have to tell you.
Well, that's the other problem is we've technically never been anywhere at the same time. So I haven't had them all in like one group list either, other than the spreadsheet we use. That's me making excuses.
I love it.
So making that list to tell you where the holes are, we could use some balanced druids, maybe a resto druid, and mages.
Mages.
All
Like
the
the
mages.
second most played class in Classic right now. It goes warriors, then mages, but we need more of them.
You need more hunters.
I just
Oh,
need to
no,
buy more
more.
accounts and I'll play multiple
We have
accounts
like
at the same
8
time.
hunters. It says to take 4. I mean, we're going to take all 8, but it says to take 4, and we have 8.
There'll be we'll have sacrificial hunters. And we just throw at bosses to see if that lowers how much damage they're doing.
No,
So,
they didn't
yeah.
have flex back then.
No flex.
No
Well,
flex.
although we've talked about flexing, how I've told you how we could go in so powerful because we know how to play the game now. Me and Penny have been
Mhm.
bouncing around the idea is to eventually try 25 manning Molten Core
Yeah.
Nice.
because we're very sure we could do it.
Yeah.
Just because, like you said, we're super skilled, and I think the skill of the talent we have around us, which is
Yeah,
much
that's
more
cool.
than my own, could very well do a 25-man Molten Core.
I am so glad you guys came on and that people are still active in Classic. Like I was really scared it was going to die, but you guys are doing it the right way. Like you said, it's not a race, it's a journey. and how you play that journey is still up to you. You can do the power level, you can do the hide and seek quest finding, which is what I was doing when I was playing, or you can do all the fun add-ons. I'm so glad that there's still a home. If you guys want to play, you'll have to switch to the bad class or race, but
Traitor.
it's fine.
You'll feel good after a little while.
We just felt like we wanted to.
To this day, I insist that the Alliance is the better faction, but that the Horde has the better races.
It does.
It really does.
I keep seeing people over and over and over asking for a Horde alternative for CTR.
Classic.
UO is here to help you.
Yes.
Come play
Hi.
Classic.
So you guys said that you were playing on Pagel Horde.
Correct.
What's the name of the guild?
It's United Orgrimmar. We still have open invites, so if you do log in, type /who space United Org, and anybody on that list, whisper them, they'll invite you.
Sweet. That is also true, by the way, of our White Mane counterpart set of guilds, which is Alliance side United Stormwind and Horde side United Orgrimmar. Whereabouts on the web, other than your characters sitting in United Orgrimmar, can the people find you when they decide, I'm interested, I'd like to track down these two fellas on the internet?
The first places I have been regularly posting in this CTR forum where we do looking for teams. So in the Discord, not forums. We haven't used the forums in a while.
Really
But
going
in the
classic, ain't
Discord,
ya?
if you're looking for a team, I have been listing the raid team just as the retail teams are listing. So if you're looking in there, you'll find it there in the Discord. There's a couple. You can find either of us on Twitch or Twitter. Also, I'm Big Oseric Games in both places. If you can find me on Discord, what is my Discord? Big Oseric Games #6480. Everybody can DM me. It's fine. I can take
I'll
it.
have that in the show notes for in the YouTubes, in the highlight for the VOD for this, and in the audio.
What are you doing on
It'll be
Twitch
there.
when you're not guesting on podcasts?
We both stream quite often. I'm not. I stream in a different way than lots of people are, in the sense where I'm not looking to make a profit. I'm looking to share my hobby. So lots of people try to sometimes hide from their other friends and family. I've been trying to share it with them. So I'm even streaming on Facebook now. I streamed on all three. I was streaming in Discord the other day. I was just streaming on Twitch and on Facebook all at the same time, giving as many avenues as I could to let people come and see what I was doing. There's
I'm
so
afraid
many people.
that my uncle would get in my Facebook chat room. And,
They've
Y'all have
already
one of
been
those,
used to
everybody.
seeing me do lots of crazy things. As you saw the helmet I was wearing, I've been fighting in a group called Dagger here for it was nearly 20 years till I had to retire. So they've been seeing me do crazy stuff for a very long time.
How about you, Little? What you up to on the internet?
So you can find me on Twitter at JalenDTA, and on Twitch, Littlewing Vaughn. YouTube is Littlewing Vaughn. I stream a lot of classic and a lot of other variety games. Like, I'm currently playing both Sword and Shield of Pokemon at the same time because I hate myself. Or I'm addicted to them. One of the two.
Addicted.
I'll go with the latter. Yes, absolutely. Addicted. But I play a lot of video games, and I stream a lot of it. And I'm kind of like, I don't really stream necessarily because I want to become ninja or something. I don't know. I really stream. Oh, you can hear my wife in the background. Yeah. Great. Delayed laughing. That's what she does. I really stream basically because I like to record video and then edit it up and do stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I think that's
it's
pretty
fun.
much all.
It's fun. It's a lot of work, and it's hard to be consistent, but it is fun.
Yeah, the consistency. Yeah, there's my problem. I think that's it.
I'd like to thank you guys so much for being on the show. Before we let you out of here, do either of you have any shout outs you'd like to drop on us? Big O, why don't you lead us off there, boss?
I've got a couple, and then Penny's going to add a little bit of his own at the end, but just a couple here. This one might be a little brown nosing, but a lot of us wouldn't be here without Pat. Pat setting the groundwork for us all to jump off and to get this all going and rolling. So, big shout out to Pat Crane. Got to meet him finally this year at BlizzCon. It was very nice.
Aw.
I'd also like to give a shout out to our guildmaster, Koma. Like I said, he used to help run iTunes, and came over to this and had no idea that two guys were going to come banging on his door asking for all these special favors and can we help take this thing over? Can we start running? We want to start banging doors down and get this thing organized. So big shout out to Coma for letting us run with this and get some organization and have some fun. Another big shout out to all our friends, new and old, people that came with us from retail, people we've made friends with that have decided that when we go back to retail are coming with us, that they're trying to find ways to join our teams to come back for 8.3 even. We've made some really great friends in Classic. And then my last shout out, I'd like to shout out to Bacon and Cakes, especially my officers right now, because I've had to step away. To Sly and to Maury and to John for really stepping up and helping things keep rolling along while we're in this slow time. And I will come back. I'll be back. 8.3 looks awesome.
And then they can gear you up.
That's right. And then again to the other teams that I've been part of for quite a while too, both Hump Day Heroes and Aldeniri runs that team, and Edamai Enterprise if you're looking for a mythic team. Hump Day is an awesome team, great people. It was a very hard decision to leave to either of those teams. I stayed in a house with people from Edamame at BlizzCon, so I've made lifelong friendships, as many of us have through this game, and they were both hard teams to leave to go on this classic adventure. And I thank them both for still staying in touch and not treating me as an outcast, leaving them hanging like that. And just getting a game with these great people. This guy over here, top of the screen over there, Penny's a Littlewing. I'm sorry. I call him about 8 different names because he plays all 8 different names.
Yeah.
But yeah, Littlewing's been awesome. And we spent time at BlizzCon this year together too, finally getting to meet each other in person. And he's a great dude. He does the technical part for me. I like to call him my little Penny Monty app. Like I ask him questions. He's my genius bar. We're in game and I don't remember something. He's the one that figures it all out for me. So big ups to him. And I know he's got a couple other things, and I just want one more after he's done. I got just one more after he's done.
Well, I'll keep mine short. I feel like I have to say shout out to Colt. What's up, dude? It's been a bit. Haven't seen you in a while. Love the podcast, buddy. Like it. Do more.
Snap.
Also, a shout out to Bacon and Kegs. Harold's in the chat. I can see their slides in the chat. I see Ald in the chat from Hump Day. Big shout out to Lonnie and Esh over with Facebowl.
Mm-hmm.
I was with them as a main healer for 2 tiers, and really great group of people if you want to do mythic raiding and feel like you're in a family atmosphere. Great people. And the rest of the crew that's currently doing Classic with us. Everybody is doing a great job. We've got a solid group of people that are working together to really make a go of actually getting to replay this content in a new, fresh way. And it's a lot of fun. And I hope people are interested from hearing us talk about it to maybe coming and checking that out. But I think you said you had one last thing. Oh, wait, one last thing. To my wife, Ariana Reen, who is giggling in the background somewhere, former main healer for Edamame. And I'm sure she's been seen around the guild a lot because she just likes to heal. But I'll let you take it now.
Yeah, big props to my family too. I mean, the amount of time they've let me. I now play more in Classic than I was when I was raiding on 3 teams in retail. So for that ability to do that has been great for my family. And then I didn't forget him. I left him for last. And if there was anything I could do to get Rhoda to come to Classic, it would make my
Yeah.
day. Rhoda needs to come play Classic.
Come on, you
But
Brit.
he won't. He won't. My favorite grumpy Brit, Rhoda. And then I'll leave you with this. All hail the UO for the Horde.
Love it.
For the nah, that was bad.
For the Horde. There you go.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Hey, this has been a really fun and informative and fun show. This is like one of my favorites. You know, in the last 2 weeks. I gotta say that because it's been 2 weeks since we've done a show. But no, really, this has been really nice. And man, as the person who's going to be editing that audio later, I really hope Ariana's delayed laughter shows up, like it appears in the audio as she listens to the stream somewhere near Littlewing and laughs 30 seconds after a joke happens.
And then when she watches the video, she'll do it in unison with her own laugh. It'll happen. It's happened before.
Oh my goodness.
Well, thank you so much for coming, really, and thanks Littlewing for reaching out. And this was a great idea. And I'm like, yeah, let's book it, let's do it. And anyone else who wants to reach out and rep your team, or rep your ideas, or whatever, do let us know. convertedpodcast@gmail.com. But there you well, I guess Barf, that's all she wrote.
Excellent. Thank you guys so very much for hanging out with us tonight. We are going to go ahead and let you guys go so that we can grab tea for the raid events and all the jazz. It is the, let's say, 1 hour and 11-minute mark, so I'm going to put that on the show notes really quickly so I can remember to put that out, because I forgot to explain that the easiest way for us to transition into the next portion of the show is for you guys to hang up on us. So if you would be so kind,
Well then,
thank you
Big
very
O,
much, both of you, for
Showtime
chilling
out.
with us.
All right. Well, we're getting them hang up, guys. Stick with us. I have some big guild news coming, but I'm going to do the raid events first. So stick with us. I promise we won't keep you for much longer. This has been a long, but like Sal said, amazing, fun show. Like this has
Two
been great.
really solid guests with
Yes.
a lot to actually say, with good stuff to say. So I'm pretty
Yes.
happy about the show.
So we will get into guild events and the raid report. Before we do kind of guild haps, I want to do the raid report real quick. Ash, who hasn't been with us for a while, as you guys know, still gets us this weekly report. So thank you, like huge shout out to Ash for still putting the time in to do this for us. We just have 2
Yes.
teams this week, Troublemakers and Relentless. Relentless got their Queen Ashara heroic kills. So congratulations, getting that done before we go to 8.3 AOTC.
There's probably other teams who are doing
Yes.
stuff, but maybe they're not like coming into the into
The
the
tool that
website
catches all the info.
that
Yep.
catches the thing, because we need to get the people on the thing, and everyone's pugging everybody, and it's that time of the tier. And there's lots of raiding going on, but that's what's showing up on our raid tool.
If you're listening to the show and you're realizing that, hey man, we missed your team, and that's probably the reason, shoot us some manner of message and we'll include you in the next show. Don't even sweat it, dog. We'll handle that for you. We're here for you.
You can tweet us, you can Discord us,
Yes. All the
you can
things.
email us, you can text Barf. I'll give you his number right now.
Do it.
Guild events. It's more of guild haps kind of this episode, guys. November 23rd of 2013, one Mr. Pat Crane and Jules Scott grabbed me in Group Me, because that was the thing that we used back in the day.
Me, yes.
And we hopped into Mumble. For you newbies, these are like archaic words. And I was asked to be brought on as the event lead. And it was something that I was so happy to do as a new mom, to give me something more than just the new mom title. And for 6 years, I have loved every second of it. I remember one of the first things I did was create a Twitter account. So every time I get my anniversary on Twitter, I know that that's the anniversary of when I said yes to the guild. I emailed Barf and Sal and I said, hey, I want to get this integrated into the podcast. This is the guild podcast. We need to have events on there. And Sal was like, yeah, absolutely. Let's do this. Like, we were going to reach out to you. And the first ever live show, January 6, 2014, I was on. And it was amazing and it was hiccupy and it was perfect. And I loved every minute of it. It was exciting. Um, but every good thing has to come to an end. So I am announcing that I am going to be stepping down as department head for this guild. As as many of you know, if you watch my Twitter and that sort of thing, I've had a ton of huge life things coming up. I've had a divorce. My beautiful, gorgeous son, who you guys get to see almost bi-weekly, is getting older and bigger and having just a lot of big kid problems that he needs his mommy for. And I'm having a lot of real life things that I need to be there for. So the time and the dedication that I used to absolutely love, come home from work and hop on and do, I can't do anymore. So it is with a huge, heavy heart that I announce that I will be stepping down as the event lead. Um, what that looks like for me, I don't know. I've reached out to Pat. We kind of have some talking to do for where it goes. I will be on this podcast for a few more episodes, my official last one, because as the joke is, I'm always nostalgic about anniversaries and town halls and things like that. Will be January 6th of 2020. It'll mark the exact day of my first time on this episode, the exact day of our first live stream, and my last day as co-host of this episode. Um, this guild has been amazing. I went from a stay-at-home mom who the thought of being in a voice chat with strangers was terrifying, to being on several podcasts, to streaming, and to creating some wonderful friends. You guys have literally watched my son grow up when this guild was created. My son was 6 months old, and he has graced this podcast so many times. There have been episodes the past few weeks I've gone back and watched where he didn't remember that I could see him on the webcam as he was creeping up behind me, and Sal commenting that Miles was there, and I was like, oh yeah, I know, I can see him. The getting him ready for bed, the hugs, the kisses, our little nighttime routine you guys have gotten to share in. He's gone from this adorable little crawling toddler to a very smart, incredible 7-year-old. And he is so proud of mommy podcasting. So it was, as a mom, a really hard decision for me as well, because the amount of pride my son has in the fact that I get on and talk to friends from New York and New Jersey and California and Australia is amazing. He is so excited. He knows Sal and Barf's name. He knows Eshelon is the bald eyeglass man. Um, he has grown up with you guys too. And so with me leaving, it's not just a chapter closing in my life, but kind of one closing in his. So it was a hard decision. And I cannot thank you guys enough for the past 6 years, for all I have learned, for all I have met, and for everything I have done. I love you guys more than you will know. You guys have helped me in ways you haven't. Um, I am literally alive sitting here today because there have been really dark places in my life that this guild has gotten me out of. And for people to say internet friends aren't real, well, they're absolute liars. So thank you, everyone. I would not have toured BlizzCon if it wasn't for you. I would not have helped host many live streams. Well, there was only 3, but still, it felt like many more as we were planning them for BlizzCon. And I'm still here. I'm still around. I'm still going to be playing Diablo. I'm still Turarts. It's just going to be a new light. So I'll be on Twitter. Hopefully, I'll still be on podcast because John and Ben have promised me a show to come on and talk about how much better the Alliance is than the Horde. I'll still be on this one too, guesting. I'm sure at some point in time they'll need someone to fill in at something, and I'll just hop on and talk about how much better I am at Diablo than Ash. So it'll be great. But I'm here. I just can't be in the role that I have been. So 2 more podcasts with me. So I'm not gone yet. 2 more chances to troll and have fun, and go back and watch that episode 23, because this podcast has come a long way from live episode 1.
Lord, yes.
Not only have the faces changed, the quality's changed, the guests have stepped it up. You all are amazing, and you have each other, and don't forget that. So there'll be lots of changes. As I know information, I will share it with you. Um, just don't forget that you have each other.
So I know that everyone is on the same page when I say you have your priorities in order, and we love you and we want the best for you. And so you're gonna run me through those greater rifts.
Oh, absolutely. Like, if you
Yeah,
missed
my
the
monk
beginning of the
is like
show,
way low.
y'all, I'm season killing it. I'm almost at the
Mhm.
legendary 666 Paragon. Like, you want to run some 75s? Let's go. Torment
I might have to
16.
stand at the door.
I got your back.
While you just
Um,
get me up there. Yeah.
on a more positive note, I am stepping down from this podcast, and that is because Mondays I go through therapy, and it's really just draining. And so for me to sit here after having the long day I've had, it's hard to put on a smile and be happy. So that is part of the reason I am stepping down. But, and I've told Sal and Barf this, um, Miles is very obsessed with Warcraft right now and the history and the lore. And he has times where he needs to be entertained for different reasons, and has asked me to record like the lore of World of Warcraft. And as I was going through and writing the stories down to record, I decided, well, if I'm going to go through the effort of recording this, I might as well just publish it. So there is a podcast coming. It'll probably be after the holidays. It'll probably be absolutely terrible, but it's for Miles, so I don't care. So I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to be around. Um, so that is happening, and there is kind of a name for it, Words of Warcraft. So it's kind of cheesy, but it's going to be the lore. So I'm still here. I'm still around. Um, I just have to move on to the next adventure, and someone will step in and take my place, and you will have a new T who will be absolutely amazing. Just don't forget about me.
First of all, you're wrong. That's not cheesy. It's rad. The word you're looking for is rad. First of all. Secondly, Colt already said it in the chat room, and Sal went there, but it bears repeating. You're absolutely, priorities in order, looking out for your, being your best version of you, and all those things that people say. It's all true. It's obvious that the show's not going to be the same without you. But we're really excited to see you step into this, new space where you're going to be able to, really pursue this cool new project you're working on. And, we were talking a little bit privately before the show, but you're making really solid advances, sort of in your personal life that are really commendable and courageous and all these other things that deserve all the praise in the world. So thank you, basically, for being here for as long as you have and sharing everything that you've shared, and being a part of this community and being a big part of this community and this show, and holding us together when we wander off into weird directions. And okay, well, also let's talk about the raid team you're here to talk about. Like, you're very
I love being the converted wrangler. I think Sal called me that once before an episode or something when I was gone. And one last, like, before we get into shout outs, like, one last, just don't ever underestimate yourself. When I first got into this guild, the names of Solar and Coltrane and Pat were these, like, idealistic names of, oh my god, like, I'm kind of in their presence, and I have had the pleasure of becoming friends with all those names, and talking to them. And even though I have actually never met any of them in person,
still time.
this little old Midwestern girl from Iowa who is surrounded by cornfields and soybean fields, has made connections I never thought was possible. January 20th, 2013, when Soul invited me in the guild on my death knight named Fox into CTR1, the far better of all the guilds. So, I mean, don't underestimate yourself. Put yourself out there, whether it's going live, whether it's posting in CTR LFG, hey, I'm running this, whether it's just anything, a random tweet to the Lagging Balls had them hosting one of my Twitch streams that happened to have Taryn Gregory in it, that then I got to tour BlizzCon with Taryn Gregory. Like, that is the order of things that happened out of randomness. Like, don't underestimate any interaction or anything. This small little guild that I was so shy and never thought I would talk to anyone in it. I'd just be that little person that's just leveling. I'm now here with all these amazing people and people who I look up to and idolize and see as role models. And two of them are here and so many more out there. So
You mean
don't
Sal and
underestimate
Colt, right?
yourself. I met you too. Colt has been one of my biggest role models. Like, for a very long time, I've looked up to that man, but I met you too, him as well. But his fortune cookie jokes, they hit me right here in the feels. How can you not love them? So let's move on to shout outs before I start crying again, unless you two have anything to add. But I think we'll have
Just that I'm proud of you and I love you, and my Diablo 2 needs power level. That's all.
I'm here. I got you. I got you.
Okay.
And we're all doing the Diablo 4 and Diablo mobile thing, right?
Well, I have
Squaggles.
my computer that runs on tiers that we joke about all the time. I don't think will run Diablo 4, so I definitely that's at the list. The upgrade the computers at the list, so I can carry your booties in 4 too.
Yeah,
because I'm the booty carrying queen. Like, let's go. So I don't see any chat room shout outs yet, so let's do ours first, and then we'll give them a few minutes of catch up to get them in there. So our shout outs first.
I meant to do this last week, but I want to shout out to one. I mean, obviously to Turarts, but we do get you another twice.
You do, yes.
Yeah, and so I do want to shout out to one Mr. Draven Dresden, aka Murdered Tramp, aka different names that I'd rather not repeat. Okay. I leveled up my rogue, in this like crazy leveling time, with this big, wow anniversary XP boost that we have. And then I didn't have some of the gear. I had the benthic gear, but then I didn't have other stuff, and my rogue was kind of naked. And he helped me out. He crafted some gear for me, then took me to the auction house and pointed at which gear I should buy. And I really anyway, I do appreciate that. That was really nice of him.
My shout outs, I have shout out to, we haven't said this name on the podcast in a while. Shout out to Dead Greed and Squinty Eyes, because they both power leveled me in Diablo. So now I can spread the wealth and other people.
I haven't talked to Dead Greed in a minute.
Oh my goodness, he's still such a riot. Like, he hasn't changed. It was brought up that he did lose a bet, and now all of his co-hosts are trying to find the video of him dancing. And I was like, I'm going to be on a podcast where I think I can get that video footage for you. So
that exists.
Yes, it does. The lost bet of Dead Greed was legendary. But so shout out to those two for getting me power leveled up through stuff. So thank you there. Shout out to Ange and Rich. There's some friends in California that I met. They've been they got me into Diablo. They're like, hey, let's play this game. Have you played it before? I'm like, nope, I own it, but let's play it. And I don't think they realized how much it was going to take over my life. They may not have introduced me to it, but they did. So thanks to that. And then shout out to Ash, because he's been lagging behind in the leveling in Diablo. I've been carrying his butt, but it's fine. Whatever. But no, shout out to him. He's been absolutely amazing and has had my back on so many. Just thank you for that. You're not in here, which is fine, but thank you for that. So Barf, what shout outs do you have?
Well, earlier this week or mid last week, sometime recently, Fraz and Spaz both welcomed me into their game of Borderlands 3, and I just had a delightful time. I forgot how much I liked that game. We killed a bunch of ghosts together. That was a wonderful time. So thank you, and shout out to both of you guys. And obviously, big, huge, mega, ultra biggest shout out to Turarts for just being the best.
Well, we have 2 more shows, and I don't know what we're doing for them, but we'll have a lot of fun.
Yeah, but this one seemed appropriate. Big shout out to Turarts for being the best.
I do not have any chat room shout outs, so I think we're good to wrap it up.
Great.
I think we're good to go. Bring it on home.
Cool beans. That's going to wrap us up for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank Navox and Geek Chic Lisa for our theme music. You can find us all on Twitter at converted_CTR. Turarts is at Turarts. Sal is at summer_Sal. Esh is at Eshelon, and I am at a bonus level. When is the next show, Sal?
Well, Barf, our next show is Monday, December 16th. And wow, that is super close to Christmas.
Yes.
That is so close to Christmas. That is so close to Christmas. And that's, I'm actually going to be in Texas. I don't know how I'm going to pull that off. I'll figure it out. The thing is, my none of my family has any kind of decent internet at all. We'll figure it out. Maybe my sister does, and I'll do it from there.
You have phones, don't you? Get it? Because you're talking about Diablo earlier.
Diablo and the live and the mobile, and yeah. So, and then after that, our next one is January 6th. So that's when our next kind of, because we're not going to kind of do one on Christmas and on New Year's and
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems silly.
Yeah.
Right there in the holiday season. Let everybody relax. Be a nice time.
Mostly me. Let me relax. Yeah.
We'll all let Sal relax, and the rest of us will sit at home stressed.
Sounds perfect.
It'll be great. Thank you all very much for hanging out with us tonight. We're going to go ahead and sign off now. For Turarts.
Bye.
For Eshelon, who says bye, even though he's not here this time, but we love him anyway. For Sal.
You're going to run me through that Diablo, though, right?
Oh, yeah. I got you.
Okay, cool.
And for myself, we'll see you next time, everybody. Is he going to play?
You can follow the show on Twitter at converted_CTR. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Converted Podcast. And find us on our Twitch channel, Converted Podcast. And join us live every other Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
We did it.
It was a long show.
It was. They were so good, though. Like, they had
were so
tons
good.
to...
They were prepared.
Yeah, it was super good.
That was... And like kind of heartfelt too. Like we do this it's about the community, and it's about like what do you want to get out of it. I'm like,
There's some life